You worked for it. You planned. You prepared. You were so close. And then, somehow, you pulled back. You missed the deadline. You started an argument that didn't need to happen. You stopped showing up. You told yourself you weren't ready. You found a reason, any reason, to slow down right at the moment everything was about to change. And the worst part? You knew you were doing it. Some part of you watched it happen and couldn't stop it. That is self-sabotage, and it is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is your brain protecting you from something it is terrified of, even if that something is exactly what you want. Part 1. The research. What science actually says. Dr. Ellen Hendrickson, a clinical psychologist at Boston University, defines self-sabotage as behavior that creates problems and interferes with long-standing goals. But here is what makes this research genuinely shocking. Studies show that self-sabotage is not random. It follows a pattern. And that pattern almost always activates at the same moment, right at the edge of success. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, right before the breakthrough. Psychologists call this the upper limiting problem, a term popularized by Dr. Gay Hendricks in his research on human potential. The theory is simple and devastating. Every person has an internal thermostat set at a specific level of success, happiness, and love they believe they deserve. The moment life tries to go above that level, the system pulls it back down. Not because you don't want more, but because more feels dangerous. Part 2. The brain. Why your system fights your own success. Here is what is happening inside your brain. Your nervous system has one primary job: keep you safe. And safe means familiar. Safe means known. Safe means exactly where you have always been. Success, real success, means change. It means a new identity, new relationships, new expectations, new versions of failure you have never experienced before. And to your nervous system, unknown is dangerous, even when the unknown is everything you ever wanted. There is a concept in neuroscience called homeostasis, your brain's drive to maintain its current state. When anything threatens to push you too far from your baseline, too much success, too much happiness, too much visibility, your nervous system fires an alarm, and then the sabotage begins. Automatically, silently, disguised as procrastination, distraction, conflict, illness, forgetfulness, anything that brings you back to the familiar level where your brain feels safe. You are not destroying your success. Your brain is protecting its comfort zone at the expense of your potential. Part 3. The real root. Childhood and worthiness. Now here is where it gets personal. For most people, self-sabotage is not just about fear of the unknown. It is rooted in something much older and much deeper. A belief about what they deserve. If you grew up being told, directly or indirectly, that you were too much, not enough, a burden, irresponsible, or unlikely to succeed, your nervous system absorbed that as truth, and it built your internal thermostat around it. So now when success arrives, when people start noticing you, when the opportunity is real, when the relationship is actually healthy, something inside quietly says, "This is not for me. I will ruin this. I do not deserve this." And then your behavior follows that belief, perfectly, automatically, before your conscious mind even realizes what is happening. Psychologist Dr. Bessel van der Kolk put it simply, "The body keeps the score." The beliefs you absorbed as a child do not stay in memory. They live in your nervous system. They show up as behavior, as self-sabotage, as the pattern you cannot seem to break no matter how much you consciously want to. So how do you stop it? Not by trying harder, not by forcing yourself to push through, by learning to recognize the moment the sabotage begins and asking one question before you act on it. Am I making this choice from genuine judgment or from fear of what happens if I actually succeed? That pause, that one question, is where everything changes. Because self-sabotage only works in the dark. The moment you see it clearly, name it, understand where it came from, recognize it as protection, not truth, it loses its automatic power over you. You are not broken. You are not your own enemy. You are someone whose nervous system learned, a long time ago, that staying small was safer than being seen. But that was then. You are allowed to update the programming. You are allowed to let good things stay. If you recognized yourself in this, share it with someone who is quietly standing in their own way. And if you want me to go deeper on breaking the self-sabotage cycle, rewiring worthiness beliefs, or the neuroscience of lasting change, tell me in the comments. I read every single one.